Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to the first session. I appreciate the opportunity to open the automation Dreamin event. My session name is I will write back with your data, bring calculations back into Salesforce with CRM Analytics. My name is Oleksander, Yevsieiev, call me Alex. It's just a complex transliteration from Ukrainian. So a few words about me. I have a couple of Salesforce certifications. My hobby is music, and my mom asked to change the picture when I told her that I will be talking on this event. She asked to change because here I look too young and too optimistic, which is not normally the case. So let's start. Some of you would wonder what about analytics? What I'm talking about? It's an automation event. It has nothing to do with your reports and whatsoever. But hold on, I will give you an answer in 15 minutes. So let's actually start. So let's make one step back and see the direction in normal direction of data in CRM Analytics. So first we take any data sources, either it's Salesforce or any other external data, then we authorize it through connection, load data into sync, which is also you can call replica, process the data with data prep tool like data for a recipe, and register data in the data set, which later can be used in our dashboards. It's a normal flow, but with Salesforce Output Connector, we can write whatever we calculated in recipe back to Salesforce object. So what the use cases was when we can use Salesforce Output Connector for data manipulation in Salesforce. First, and the most obvious case is external data. With Native Connector, we can bring data from many sources, from many systems like Multisoft, Snowflake, Google Analytics, Tableau, Microsoft Dynamics, etc. Ensure we can connect to any Salesforce instance, any Salesforce org. No coding skills here needed. And it doesn't consume Salesforce storage. Analytics has its own capacity. Remember, we load data into sync. So our prep tool don't run against Salesforce objects directly for the sake of performance. They run on sync. A few other cases from my personal experience is Chatter, big object. For instance, if you're using big objects for the sake of archival, then analytics can easily access them. Also, system objects like login history and other in event monitoring, there you can find a lot of interesting information, which also analytics can get for you. And the last one is not last, actually. The one is roll-up summary field on lookup relationship. We know that it's not possible to build roll-up summary fields for lookup. It's only possible for master detail. There are a few workarounds. We will discuss them a bit later. But I have never seen that someone explains how to build this with CRM Analytics. So I will cover this gap. So it was our introduction with a lot of blah. Let's finally have a look how it looks like. I'm opening my Salesforce org. Okay. So as mentioned, I'm a fan of music, and I have the following use case. We imagine we are working at a musical instrument distributor company. Our customers are music shops like this, ABC Music, or we have another one, Loud Shop, for instance. Here we have some data. Let me refresh the page. So we have some fields, etc. Okay. Yeah. We have an amazing dashboard under Analytics tab where you can see the opportunity pipeline per stage, per brand. We can click it, show different measures. So it all works. Also some trends by brand. Also, we can expand each brand and see the model numbers. So that's cool. And but it's not the topic for today. Let's focus on our challenges in terms of automations. So first challenge is, let's imagine, yes, we have to update the number of contacts. So we have a number fields here, and there is a related list of contacts. But standard row of summary field is not possible to build here because contact has a lookup relationship to account. So how can we address this with CRM Analytics? Let's have a look. Let me close all the tabs I don't need. So we go to App Launcher, opens Analytics Studio. From here, Data Manager. Okay. And recipes. I have built a few. The first one we need is contacts count. It's pretty small and easy, but here you can get an idea how it works. So first we load the contact object from Salesforce, get a few fields here, like contact ID, account ID, contact name. Then in aggregate node, we count unique contact IDs and group by account ID. So at the end, we receive the account ID and number of contacts per each. And the final node, we go to Output Connector. So here we have a choice. Let me expand. Here we have a choice, either go to Output Connector or dataset. Let's come back to our slide here. So at the end, we can register data into a dataset or come through Output Connector to a Salesforce object. So the last one is our choice. So we go to Output Connector, select an object. In our case, it's account. Operation is update. So we have to update existing accounts with the number. And we map the fields. So account ID to account ID, contacts count to number of contacts field in Salesforce. Let's run and see what we get. We can monitor the job in Job Monitor. Yes. Okay. While it's running, let's talk about the alternatives. So row summary can be built on top of lookup with trigger, yes, but it requires complex coding skills. Also, it's possible to build it with a flow, but this flow will not be that easy because the flow will not be that easy because you have to consider a lot of things, updates, deletes, reparenting, etc. Also, you can install a rollup helper application like or any other from App Exchange. But it will contain trigger inside, and this you will not have control over it. And imagine if you have already another trigger on the object, you will go against the best practices because you can't manage the order of execution in your object. So the job is done. Let me refresh the page. Okay. So the number of contacts is populated. The field is here. It's updated with 2. Yeah. What happens if you add new contact? Click new. Let's give him a name, Ivan. Save. The field is not updated automatically, so it's not a real-time operation. What can we do? We can set up a schedule. The most frequent option is once per hour, and also we can run the update manually. So in order to get this contact number into our field, we have to do a few operations. Let's come back to the slide and see the flow. So we have created a contact in Salesforce. Then we should load this into sync first and then run the recipe. Let's go. So Data Manager, go to Connections. Here we have our contact. run sync. Two options, incremental or full. In our case, we need incremental. In incremental, it loads only delta, while full loads whole list of contacts or any other objects, any records. You will need this in case if you have deleted the record. But in our case, we have added new, so delta would work fine for us. Okay, almost done. Then we run, go to recipe and run our contacts count again. Run now. Yes, it's running. Yeah, okay, while it's running, we can monitor the job also in bulk API data load. So if you go to setup and go to bulk data load, you'll see the new job here. It's not done yet because so far, first these two steps they are performing in analytics itself. But when it comes to the last step, when we update the record, you'll see the new job listed in the setup. So yeah, now it's running here. We can refresh the page and see the new job running. Okay, so you see it's account, update, to records. So exactly it's our job. It could be still running in analytics because it's not only field updates but other processes. But maybe we can already refresh our account and see the result. Okay, yeah, it's three here, it matches. So that's one use case with custom roll-up summary fields. Another one, let's imagine we have sales data from external system. So which, yeah, very, very simple. Again, just for the sake of demo, we have an external system, yeah, it could be SAP, whatever. We have account number with year, months, and sales per month. The key here matches the one we have on account. So, and we want to load this data as a related list here on the sales by months object. So if I click new, we'll see exactly same fields, account, sales, months, year. So just same for fields. So how can we address this with CRM Analytics? Yeah, let's first delete the records so that we see the result immediately. Okay, thank you. So how can we load this data into Salesforce as a related list? So we go to data assets, new data set, upload file. I will not stop here that much. There are a few steps. I will just click next, next, next. We need another session to explain how analytics works. So we don't have time for this, but you have an idea now how it works in general, how fast it, how easy. Okay, file upload is done. Then we go to our next recipe, which is called sales by months, I believe, yes. Here we get, so what happened here? We get our external sales data, which is already a data set in Salesforce, sorry, in Analytics. We pick up the columns, our 4 columns from Excel, these ones. And we have account number, but account number, it's not the field which you can use for a field update or inserts. So we need account ID. And to get account ID, we join account with this, our key account number. And later we drop our extra columns and get nice table with account ID instead of account number. And at the end, we again create records with Output Connector, but now we select sales by months object, the one we can see here, sales by months. Here. And use insert operator so that we have to create new records for this object. And map fields, month to month, year to year, sales to sales, account to account. That's it. Let's run. Again, you'll see the job status in monitor. Okay. Again, it's quite simple and easy. It could be way more complex, up to dozens of nodes. In my experience, I have a recipe which has about 80 nodes, where we combine a lot of data, a lot of sources, complex calculations, several data sets are written. So it could be quite huge, but still it's powerful. So it can be used for whatever complex calculations. Yeah, let's see how it works now. Okay, still running. Yeah, should be done soon. Okay, it's still running. Let's give it a few seconds. Yeah, it's done. Refresh the page, and we see our sales by months records loaded here. So we have a few more challenges. I will not stop the details here. So for instance, we want to update our account with external aggregated data. So now we have just loaded the records, but what if we want to get current year of sales and sales trend, meaning current year of sales, which is, so sum up all the sales for 2022 and see how it looks against 2021. So we want to populate these two fields. We have the third recipe here. So you already know the drill. So go to recipe and run it. Sales trend. That's it. So what I will just run it. So more or less it's the same logic. So we join account, perform some calculations, and at the end we choose output connector, account, update, because we need to update account, not insert new account, but update, and update right two fields with account ID. So that's the logic. One thing which I didn't mention here is in order to avoid duplicates in sales by month object, we can do two things. First is set up validation rule, duplication rule, sorry, which will not allow us to add duplicates. Here, 2022, for instance, months, February. Yeah, it will say, yes, okay, there is a duplicate, but also we can use, instead of inserts here, we can use upsert. So next time, once the existing records will be updated instead of creating a duplicated record. So it's up to you. That's the approach. And let's wrap up. Our job for sales trend should be running. Okay, still running. So let's back to slides and wrap up the benefits which you have. So it's very easy tool. Only querying skills are required. Complex logic and complex schema can be processed. It's cool. Also, it supports insert, update, and upsert operators. Use of bulk API, huge advantage, which allows to work with large data volumes. Also, there is no need to store data in Salesforce objects, because CRM Analytics has its own storage where limits are way higher than in objects. Also, no need to build custom integration. And also, if there is no native connector, you can build one with external data API, but it can be done only once. Next time, so once data in, there is no limit on number of fields or records to be manipulated. So that's cool. Let's see the status of our job to make sure that it's all done. Okay, it's done. I refresh, and I expect these two fields to be populated. Yeah, it's done. So that's it. And what about downsides? The first and most obvious, there is no real time possible. So only scheduled jobs. It's because we don't work directly with sourceless objects. We always load it into a replica and then process data from there. Also, it consumes destination org bulk API limits. It's the thing to be considered. Also, your customer needs a CRM Analytics license. It's additional cost, yes, but once you have it, you can do a lot from building analytics, reporting dashboards, and also update records. And merge, delete, and undelete operations are not supported here. It's not that critical, but still I have to mention. And you can find more information about the limits and how it works in the Salesforce documentation. And also here's a link to the recipe, how to work with recipes from Trailhead. So thank you very much. We have a few minutes to answer questions if you have some. Let me open the chat if I can see some. Yeah, feel free to ask your questions. We have still a few minutes. Otherwise, I can let you go. Thank you for attention. Good luck for the next speakers. And yeah, see you later. Cheers. We're right in time. Stop sharing. Thank you very much.